Hello everyone, welcome to What If Evil Deku Had the Powers of Alastor and Black Hat movie. Before we start, please go support Ancalagon in the Black for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Deku is a male in this story. Chapter 1. In a world where the entire planet has quirks but society and everything was controlled by women who controlled everything because they only had quirks, unlike men who don't have them. Right now you can see a green-haired boy who was in the rain crying. Izuku. Why do they hate me? Just because I'm a man. The boy was crying in the rain as he walked through the woods to step on a spot where he fell. Izuku. Where am I? The boy looked everywhere, but as it was nighttime due to the moonlight, he focused on a statue that had two demonic-looking beings. Izuku. What is this? The boy approached the statue to touch it, but then the moonlight went out. Izuku. What happened? At that, a large amount of fire appeared on the walls, while two beings could be seen. Izuku. Who are they? I am the king of villains, evil itself, Black Hat. Or a spectator, I am only a sinner, a human who is feared in hell himself, the radio demon Alastor. Izuku. Hello, I'm Izuku. Alastor. Hey Izuku, get up, it's bad to be on the floor, you're going to get dirty, tell me what this world is like. He said this as he lifted him up to touch his head, seeing all of his memories of him apart from Black Hat. Black. He's just a tadpole. Alastor. And what does that matter, you know how our deal ended. Izuku. What's going on? Alastor. This one here and I ended up in a deal that left us trapped inside those statues, the first being that found us would pass on our powers to them, as well as doing something a little bad. Izuku. What do you mean? Black. You will have powers. The boy put on a big smile. Alastor. Do you accept having our power? He said this as he extended his hand for him to shake his palm, while Black Hat took out a contract. The innocent boy only signed it and shook his hand for it to finish. The two beings disappeared. The boy was covered in darkness so that he would go away, revealing an Izuku who had Black Hat clothes, although they had a dark red touch with a smile that was more fangs than anything else in the world, along with his red pupils, so that he would smile and his staff would appear in his hand. Izuku. Okay, my friends, you can now appear. 11. Some beings appeared which knelt before Izuku, who only had a smile as he made an exit. Izuku. Let's go, let's not waste time, the world has to see what true evil is. 21. The beings rose to follow their lord. Chapter 2. After Izuku was mistreated so that he ended up in an old cave where he met those evil beings, so that he ended up accepting their power to be evil personified. At this moment you can see Izuku walking calmly down the street. Although years have passed since what happened, Izuku caught the eyes of all the women and girls because he seemed like a very nice boy. Izuku walked until he entered a building. Secretary. Hello Mr. Black. Izuku. Hello Sonia, anything new? Sonia. No. Izuku. Okay. Izuku went to his office where he entered calmly to go to a part of the wall where he touched something to go to a dark room where there was a large table and on it there were some beings which were the same ones that left the cave with Izuku. Izuku. And how is the company going? Well my lord, although some purchases were low. Izuku. How? He had a smile showing his fangs. It's just that some sales weren't good. Izuku. Did you forget that we provide services to the villains so that our sales go up, we have to improve. There was a certain league of villains. Izuku. Who drives that? All for one. Izuku. That woman, as always, a little nuisance. And why doesn't it end with her? Izuku. It's still useful my dear minions, Freddy, Jason, Annabelle, I want you to get information from the entire league of villains. Izuku. Sam, Samara, Horny will take care of checking out an academy. Sam. An academy? Horny. You want us to kill his students? Sam. I can use my trick or treat. Izuku. No, 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 I want you to only investigate a few specific people. Sam. Who? Izuku. I want you to see class 1A, I have some things with that class. Horny. You say that because all girl is on now. Izuku. Yes, I think the League of Villains will go after them, the rest just wait for new orders. Matt. What do you have planned, sir? Izuku. I just want to find out about this class. Pennywise. And when they're no longer useful, I'll eat them all. In a second the clown was in the air being lifted by a hand that grabbed him by the neck, not letting him breathe. Izuku. Don't you dare do something like that, if that class is no longer useful I will take care of it myself, I have some personal things with that class, understood. The clown would only nod his head with great difficulty. Izuku. Good clown. Throw the clown against a wall to get up. Izuku. If you let me, I'll go. I have things to do. You just have to take care of finding out about the students, teachers, and then all their activities apart from the protection of that school. I have left the place. Pennywise? What's wrong with the boss? Taking hold of the neck. Freddy. I don't know, always when we try to touch on a topic about some specific schools and it sends us flying. Pinhead. Let's just avoid the subject of that. Mitchell. But Jason and Samara know why. Everyone looked at the quietest ones in the group. Samara. Just be satisfied with knowing one thing. Jason. It's about his former family, don't you dare open your mouth or he'll kill you. Upon learning this new information, they only chose to shut their mouths and do the things their lord told them to do, although a certain killer clown wasn't going to stay still. Chapter 3. After Izuku had made a company in which they obviously helped the villains and rarely the men, since Izuku remembered very well the times he suffered for being a man, and after that he helped them rarely or not at all. Now at this moment Izuku was walking calmly down the street until he entered a place where it was dark, but the problem was that the villains were looking at him. Villain. Look at that, it's a bomb. Villain. How I want him in my bed. Villain. Don't try to do anything to him. Villain. Why? Villain. I understand that you are a guest of Mrs. All for one. They were surprised because the number one villain invited a man. Izuku walked to a door and knocked on it. Tomu. What do you want? Fem Tamura. Izuku. It's not obvious, darling, I came to see All for One. At that point they opened the door for him. Kuro. I'll take you to her. Fem Kurajiri. Izuku. I hope so. That's what they were doing, but a certain crazy blonde had to get involved. Toga. Hello, beautiful. Izuku. Don't bother me, Toga. Toga. Why not? Izuku. Otherwise I'll leave you 365 days without being able to walk or hold a knife. He said it with a smile that shocked and scared her. Izuku walked until he entered a room where All for One was. Afo. What do you want, Izuku? Izuku. Nothing special, I just came because I found out you made a group called the League of Villains. Afo. You already know Tomu's ideas. Izuku. Yes, but the important thing is that you didn't tell me anything, and that bothers me a little. He said it with a look that caused the villain to feel fear. To be honest, Izuku was the only one who could make her feel fear. Afo. I can explain. Izuku. No need, I just came to warn you that if you don't inform me of everything I'll have to come to fix some things. Afo. Okay. Afo knew very well that Izuku, apart from being the first person with a quirk, was someone who should not be played with or joked with in the slightest. Izuku simply left the place and walked to his building where his secretary greeted him. Secretary. Mr. Izuku, you have an invitation. Izuku. What about? Secretary. It seems like a Yaoi Rozu family gala party, they want to meet him in person. Izuku. Interesting. But that I walked over to where his lackeys were. Freddy. Sir, we already have the report on the entire UA. Annabelle. Aside from that, we know all the movements of the League of Villains, all their plans. Izuku. Excellent, I like it, today they can do whatever they want inside the building. And why is he so much kindness? Izuku. I was invited to a gala party by a family who has their daughter at UA, and I'm going to go, everyone goes. Everyone left the place, night came, and Izuku went to the Yaoi Rozu mansion in a black suit with a dark red shirt, black pants and shoes of the same color. He entered the mansion to see the place while walking and greeting some people. Man. Looks like you're Izuku. Izuku. Yes, who am I talking to? Man. I am Mr. Yaoi Rozu, this is my wife and my daughter Momo. The black women welcomed him. Momo. You look like you're the same age as my daughter. Izuku. And so it is. The Momo. It's incredible that someone so young is a millionaire. Izuku. It's just my efforts. Avi. Hi Izuku, I know you are an inventor, this is my daughter Melissa. Melissa. Hello. Izuku. Nice to meet you. He said it with a slight bow, making Momo and Melissa blush. They began to talk until they touched on a slightly sensitive topic. The Momo. And what do you think of today's heroines? Izuku. They're trash. Momo. Sorry. Izuku. I have offended you. Momo. Well, I'm going to the UA for your information. Izuku. Yes, they are trash who care about fame and fortune, I know this from my own experience. The Momo. And may I know how? Izuku. Let's say that when I was a little boy, women took advantage of me all the time, they hit me, they insulted me, but I learned about the two most painful blows. The second one is the heroines because they used their quirks on me, and the first place is my ex-family who beat me non-stop until they kicked me out of my own house with a broken arm and dragging one leg. At that, the two families understood why they hated the heroines, but music began to play. Momo. What beautiful music, Izuku, is it okay if you dance with my daughter? Momo. Mom. Izuku. I have no problems. He walked over to stand in front of Momo to bow slightly and extend his hand to her. Izuku. May I have this piece, young lady? Momo was blushing deeply, but she took Izuku's hand so they could start dancing in the middle of everyone under the gaze of the two families. Momo. I promise you. Izuku. Huh. Momo. I promise I'll be a great heroine and take care of you. He put his head on Izuku's chest, causing him to blush slightly, although the boy didn't like it. Something that Alastor and Black didn't count on was that Izuku before having his powers was a bucking pure-hearted boy, so pure that it was impossible for him to find a hint of evil, but having them now, a bit of that purity was deep inside his being, very buried. When the dance ended as well as the party, everyone went to their homes, although Izuku said goodbye to the two families. Chapter 4. After Izuku was in charge of speaking with the League of Villains, apart from having gone to a kind of Yayoi Rozu family gala party, so that now he will be in his office quietly, but out of nowhere he saw his henchman who passed before Izuku's gaze. Izuku. What do you want? Matt. Sir, why did he never tell us anything about the people who mistreated him? Izuku. So they were on my personal computer. That started to scare them. Yes. Izuku. Well, what do you want now? Freddy. Just let us go against them, kill them. Izuku. No. Matt. Why? Izuku. Because revenge is mine, not yours. He gave them a smile that made them understand that they didn't have to continue with the subject if they didn't want to suffer. Izuku. If you let me, I have to take a trip. Jason. Where to? Everyone mentally. And since when does this guy talk? 15. Izuku. Do you know the forest in Romania? Sam. Yes, the most dangerous forest in the entire world and known by humans who entered the place and did not return or find their bodies. Literally the forest exists. Izuku. Yes, I have to go to that place. Annabelle. Why? Izuku. Let's say that at the party I was invited to, let's say I found some of my humanity. That made everyone look at him. Izuku. I'm leaving and remember not killing. Izuku went to the roof where he took a plane. While on a bus you can see a green-haired girl with dark circles as if she doesn't sleep. Mina. Are you okay, Izumi? Izumi. No, I can't sleep. Jiru. Why? The girl remembered how in her dreams she always ended up seeing her useless little brother, followed by the appearance of a red-haired man who mentally tortured her, making her suffer, and she was not the only one of her since her mother went through the same thing. Izumi. I don't want to remember it, they are nightmares. Mina. Changing the subject, Momo doesn't look very attentive today, let's say. Toru. Neither does Melissa. Momo. It's just that we met someone. Melissa. Very beautiful. Uraka. They have a picture of him. The girls showed a photo they took of Izuku, letting everyone see it, and they blushed, although the green-haired girl recognized him as the subject of her dreams. Izumi. He's the guy. Kendo. Are you okay? Izumi. No, in my nightmares that boy always appears and makes me suffer. Jiru. What is your name? Izumi. I don't know. Melissa. His name is Izuku. That surprised the green-haired girl. Toru. Is he someone bad? Momo. In fact, he is someone who suffered a lot in the past. He sees heroines as garbage because they never helped him before the abuse he received. Jiru. Well, he deserves it for being a man. Izumi. It's my brother. That surprised them all because the boy was the brother of that green-haired girl, but Melissa and Momo only showed an angry face, while elsewhere Izuku was walking through the forest of Romania. Izuku. What a beautiful place. He said this while walking through the snow and hearing voices in the place. Izuku. I already know that you are here, or you want me to get you out of hiding. He said this as he made his eyes glow blood red, causing the demons to appear on the spot. Demon. What do you want, sir? The devil said it while on his knees. Izuku. I just want to leave the humanity I have left. Demon. And how do you plan to do that? Izuku. This way. He made his staff hit the floor twice so that the shadows of the demons began to go to Izuku, although all the demons tried to avoid this by grabbing wherever they could, but they couldn't escape even one, so they ended up being absorbed by Izuku. Izuku. Much better, that has to be more than enough, and good try, my stupid minion. The boy just walked calmly to return to Japan, while in the same place being in the USJ. You can see the entire class and the teachers just finishing their fight against the League of Villains, but through the door a strange being was seen entering that attracted everyone's attention, but when they saw it, they were incredibly disgusted. Matt. Izumi Midoriya. The green-haired girl looked at him. Matt. You'll pay for making my master suffer. He took out a gun, making everyone prepare, but out of nowhere a tentacle grabbed him by the arm, making him point somewhere else. Matt. Don't wait a moment please, I'm doing this for my master. A portal with satanic drawings appeared behind it so that tentacles came out which took Matt. Matt. No, please, no. Then he passed through the portal, making everyone have doubts about what happened. Chapter 5. After Izuku went to the Romanian forest meeting several demons which he ended up absorbing apart from the fact that one of his minions tried to defy one of his rules, causing him to end up entering a portal which was scary just to see it. At this moment you can see Izuku entering where everyone was. Freddy. Looks like you're back. Izuku. Yes, I'm back. Sam. Sir Izuku-sama, we have something to show you. Izuku. Okay. The boy accompanied them until he saw Matt on the floor with chains. Izuku. You can find out what's going on and not make me see for the time it takes. Jason. Matt attempted to murder a girl from class 1A. Izuku looked at Matt with a smile, thinking that his lord was going to give him something. Izuku. Is that true, Matt? Matt. Yes, my lord. Izuku. In that case. He made his staff hit the floor twice, causing tentacles to suddenly take Matt away, while he began to scream in pain. Izuku. One less. Izuku walked over to sit on a chair. Sam. Sir, we couldn't find Annabelle. Do you know where it is? Izuku. Don't worry about that and continue with your thing. Everyone left as Izuku ran his hand over his chair. Izuku. You should have thought twice before trying to take control of me in Romania, thinking I was in a weak moment. Hours passed and at the UA the announcement of the sports festival was made. Outside the UA Izuku got out of a limousine to start entering. The boy walked until he met some women. Woman. Excuse me, what are you doing here? Izuku. Nice to meet you, I'm Izuku and I came to talk to the director. Woman. Hello, I'm the heroine Rei and this is my sister Mitsuki. Izuku. Nice to meet you beautiful ladies. He bowed to the girls who blushed at how kind the boy was apart from that smile. Izuku. Can you take me to the main one? The girls just started walking with Izuku, but they just happened to pass in front of a class. Momo. Izuku, is that you? Izuku. Hi Momo, Melissa, long time no see, I heard there was an attack on the USJ, I'm glad nothing happened to you. He said this while remembering Matt. Melissa. Thanks Izuku. The girls were happily talking to the boy until a colored girl approached. Tomi. Sisters, what are you doing with Izuku? Rei. We're taking him to talk to the director. Mei. Wait, you're Izuku, the famous businessman who made great inventions. Izuku. The same. Mei. Incredible, I would like to go one of these days to see how you make your inventions. Izuku approached her ear so that only they could hear. Izuku. If you want, I can also teach you how to make a child. Mei blushed so Izuku would leave, although when she saw Izumi and Kasumi who looked at Izuku, the boy was about to go against them to kill them, but he passed by, walked until he reached the director's room, and the two women went to the teacher's room. Izuku. Hello director. Nisa. Hello Mr. Izuku, I heard you wanted to talk to me. Izuku. And so I wanted to talk about the topic of school security. Nisa. Why do you want to talk about that? Izuku. I'm worried about the safety of the future heroines who leave this great academy and I don't want anything bad to happen to them. Nisa. Sounds good, I know you are a very good inventor, so I will have to accept your offer. In the teacher's lounge. Midnight. You've seen that boy Izuku, I definitely want to have him in my bed. Mirko. When the rabbit's mating season comes, he will definitely be the bunny I'll be going with. Ryukyu. I say the same, a female dragon needs a male. Aiza. Maybe one of these days I'll fall asleep in my sleeping bag and have that boy with me inside the bag. The girls agreed as Izuku finished closing a deal with the principal, making her sign a contract and shaking her hand so the boy could leave the place. Chapter 6. After the UA was attacked by the League of Villains, apart from the fact that Izuku went to give his services to the UA and was accepted, apart from the fact that Izumi managed to see her brother again who was now a millionaire with a new appearance, at this moment Izuku was in his office calm. Sir, it's not bad or anything, but may I know why you wanted to help the UA? Izuku. How do I explain it to you? With my things inside the UA I will be able to have all the data of it without any problem, it is a strategy. The boy showed a smile, revealing his fangs. Freddy. It's a very good plan. Secretary. Sir, there are some people who want to see you. Izuku. Let them pass, you guys get out of my sight. His minions did as he entered class 1 along with some teachers and a green-haired girl. Izuku. May I know why you require my services? Nisa. It's just that my students wanted to come see you. Izuku. Well, nice to see you again. Inko. Hi son, I think you never told us about this, but since I'm your mother, you have to give us a certain percentage of all this. This obviously didn't please Izuku at all, making him angry although he hid it with his typical smile. Izuku. Excuse me, what? Why would I do that? Inko. Because I'm a woman. Izumi. We are superior to you. The girls all showed that arrogant smile, except for some who looked at this badly, so Izuku got up from his seat. Izuku. First thing, they are not superior to me, second, I do not consider them my family at all. Inko. Why not? Izuku. Do you want to see it? They all agreed as Izuku began to take off his red vest, followed by his white shirt, to reveal a body that made the girls and heroines blush, although what was most striking were the scars on his body. Izuku. 70% of these scars were from you when I was supposed to be your family, well 30% are from heroines that I asked for help from, but you gave me this, say that at least I still help those from the UA with some things at least. That made a group look badly at the two green-haired girls who did not leave their arrogance aside, even though in front of them was their ex-son and ex-brother. Izuku. Well, now what do you want? The boy put on his clothes. Nisa. I would like to know if we can see parts of the factory. Izuku. If you can, I was going for a walk anyway. The boy stood up to start walking calmly through the factory, followed by the girls who watched everyone work. Izuku. I always hire men, giving them good salaries so they can work well. Apart from protection within my company, they can see everything. May. It's amazing that you've been able to do so many experiments like these. Melissa. You're right. May. Teach us. The two of them placed themselves on Izuku's chest, causing that nervous part of his being to return. Ray. Izuku, I'd like you to meet my daughter Tomi. I show the Vi color. Izuku. It's a pleasure to meet such a beautiful lady. He leaned down, giving her a kiss on her hand, making her blush a little bit, causing her to bring out a bit of her fire side of her being noticed by her sisters. Tomi. The pleasure is mine. Izuku. I'm planning on having a dance party in a few days, but the question is if you guys want to come. Hayami. Are you telling us all here? Izuku. Yes, everyone is welcome to invite. Melissa. Now that you mention it, on my island there are also plans to do something like this after the sports festival, and I would like to know if. Izuku. If I wanted to go, it would be a pleasure to go to a part where there are more scientists. That made Melissa happy, although some of the arrogant girls looked at this badly. Tomi. Are you going to want to dance with me at the party? Izuku. Yes, why wouldn't I? The girl touched her facial scar, being noticed by Izuku, who touched her left cheek. Izuku. It doesn't matter if you have that scar because you are still beautiful inside and out. That made her blush even more, making her look away. Secretary. Sir, there are some businessmen who would like to see you. Izuku. I'm afraid I can't keep accompanying you, you know business. The boy left the group. Izuku walked to his office where he entered to stay there. Izuku. What do you need? All for one. All for one. I want you to give me more instruments for the Nomus and keep Toga. Izuku. I can do everything, but why do you want me to stay with Toga? All for one. He doesn't stop talking about you every day. Izuku. It's okay, it'll be useful for some things. 21. On the bus they all got on. Inko. Damn bastard, how dare he ignore me. Mirko. Maybe because you hurt him a lot in his life. Ryukyu. You're the kind of person that dislikes me, Inko Midoriya. Momo. Izumi, don't try to talk to me ever again. May. Don't even think about talking to me. Melissa. Listen to me. Izumi. Why? Because I treated a man a little badly. Melissa. Well, that man was supposed to be your brother, but look at the state of his body. The girls walked away from the green-haired girls who couldn't believe how they were being treated. Chapter 7. After they went to Izuku's company so that they could finish seeing the things that Izuku did in his company, so that at the moment he would be calm in his company after talking to All for One, so that the days would begin to pass until the long-awaited sports festival arrived. A limousine stopped in front of the building where Izuku got out with that smile that characterizes him. Izuku. This will be a great day without a doubt. The boy entered the building to start walking through a part where only the heroines were. Then Devora. Hey, what are you doing here? This part is for heroines. Izuku. My dear friend invited me to this part. Then Devora. Yes, and I am the worst heroine of all. Nisa. I'm glad you accepted my invitation, young Izuku. Izuku. Hello director, of course I was going to accept your invitation, after all I want to see with my own eyes and in person the future heroines. Nisa. Then come please, the box is over here. The boy followed her until they ended up in a part where Izuku sat to watch everything that was happening. Ray. Hello Izuku, it seems you accept Nisa's invitation. Izuku. Hi Ray, nice to see you again Ray, it's a pleasure to see a gem again. The white-haired girl blushed at Izuku's words, so she just sat next to Izuku watching the girls from class pass by. Aiza. As you know, all the insurance and new things that appear are thanks to the businessman Izuku who keeps us company. The camera focused on Izuku who only had his smile as he looked at the platform, not waiting any longer for the festival to begin, although some girls were staring at him with drool coming out of their mouths. Ayumi. It seems that women really like you. Izuku. Really? I just found out. Just like the original story happened, Midnight's explanation for the first part of the sports festival, so that the sports festival would begin, happening like the original story. Izuku. I didn't expect to see such a thing. Ray. You're talking about how Izumi won. Izuku. I never expected him to use explosives to reach the goal, but hey, it's a small detail. Just like the original story, the second part of the sports festival passed for a break in which Izuku got up to start walking being seen by some girls, but at one point he was hugged from behind, seeing a raven-haired girl and a blonde. Izuku. Hello Melissa, Momo. Momo. You came, that's good. Izuku. Yes, I came, but do you need anything? Melissa. No. Izuku. Then you can leave, I just wanted to go get something to eat. The girls got off to start walking apart while Mei and Tomi joined the small group starting to walk around the place until they reached a restaurant where they ordered food. Izuku. Apparently the four of them moved on to the next part of the festival. Mei. Yes, I already showed some of my babies and I can't wait to show the others. Izuku. That's good. Tomi. I'm going to beat Izumi. He said it with a serious face. Izuku. Just don't hurt yourself, nobody likes to see a pretty face get hurt. The girl blushed at what she had said, they stayed a while longer until they heard the alarm go off that the girls who went to the next part of the festival had to go. Izuku. Looks like you have to go, I wish you luck. Momo. Yes, but we have to pay for the food. Izuku. Don't worry, I'll take care of that. The girls thanked them for leaving, while Izuku stayed a little longer until an Ashen-haired girl sat in front of Izuku who recognized her. Izuku. Hello Mitsuki, I didn't expect to see you here. Mitsuki. I came to see Kasumi, but seeing you is also a little better, I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed me. Izuku. Don't worry Mitsuki, I'm doing very well these days. Mitsuki. If I'm aware of everything, you now have a company. Izuku. Yes, it's something good, but what can you do about it? Mitsuki. I also apologize for how my daughter behaved towards you and how she is now. Izuku. It doesn't matter Mitsuki, don't apologize for others nowadays, it doesn't matter anymore. Mitsuki. By the way, if you need anything at all, you can always talk to me. She said this giving him a flirtatious look that Izuku noticed and even more so when she left and moved her hips in a provocative way. Izuku. That's something I didn't expect. The boy walked out of the restaurant to go see the next part of the festival that happened like the original story so that Izuku would leave the place. Chapter 8. After Izuku went to see the first parts of the sports festival, becoming the first two just to have a little reunion with Mitsuki, at this moment Izuku was walking towards the festival to see the last part, although he noticed something in an alley, and it was about how two villains were mistreating a man, so he went in. Izuku. Sorry but I'm interrupting something. Villain. You better get out of this place. The man took the opportunity to leave the place while Izuku looked at the villains. Villain. Now that he's gone, we'll have fun with you. Izuku. Seriously. He began to show his evil smile as space began to distort and Izuku's voice changed to a more sinister one, along with his appearance that changed to a darker one, and he returned to normal, scaring the villains. Izuku. Or I'll be the one having fun with you. The villains tried to run because of the fear they felt, but portals were made that ended up taking the villains away who screamed in fear, but no one hurt them. Izuku. See you in hell. Everything went back to normal, so Izuku left the place walking until he reached the stadium where he was calmly looking everywhere until he got to see the fights that each of them was going on. Nisa. What do you think of Izuku? Izuku. They are definitely great fights, especially the one between Tomi and Izumi. And Devora. It was to be expected that she would win. The fights went by like the original story until the part where everyone left. Izuku instead of taking a limo like always decided to walk around the place a bit, but while he was walking just passing a park, he noticed that on a bench Mitsuki was crying, so I have approached. Izuku. What's wrong Mitsuki? Mitsuki. Nothing Izuku, it's okay. The boy sat next to her as he looked at her. Izuku. You know Mitsuki, you always helped me when no one else did, you were better than Inko in every way, so you can trust me for anything. Mitsuki. I found my husband in my house today. Izuku. And that should be normal after all, he is your husband. Mitsuki. The bastard had been having relations with another woman for years who was unfaithful to me and I didn't even find out, I'm stupid. The woman was crying even more, so the old little Izuku, so innocent that she was inside the current Izuku, took control to hug Mitsuki, being one of the few times he left his smile aside. Izuku. If you want, you can sleep at my house today, I mean so you don't have to see that bastard. Mitsuki. No thanks Izuku, it would be a bother. Izuku. You wouldn't be, you once helped me, you saved me from many things, and now I want to be the one who helps you with your problems, the one who saves you. The two went to Izuku's house, a mansion, where the boy left the woman in a room. Mitsuki. You know something Izuku, if men had a quirk you would definitely be the best hero. The boy had a smile, but not one of those that showed confidence with a mix of evil among other negative things, but a smile of nostalgia, in which the little Izuku was reflected. Izuku. Rest easy little explosion. The boy closed the door, and when he turned around his smile immediately changed when he saw his henchman. Izuku. What do you want? When do we kill that human? Freddy. If you want I can give you some nightmares now. Izuku. No one is going to touch her or do anything, she is one of the reasons why I am still alive, so you better not mess with her, or else I will make you go through a hell you have never seen. The boy left the place, scaring his henchman. Chapter 9. After Izuku watched the finals as well as meeting Mitsuki to take her to his house where he let her sleep, the next day Mitsuki was getting up to see a part where he had some clothes to put on, so he just put them on to leave the room, followed by walking to the dining room, where he found Izuku working on a computer. Izuku. It seems like you're better now. Mitsuki. Yes, thank you for letting me stay. Izuku. Actually, now I'm thinking about one thing. Mitsuki. What? Izuku. You sometimes took care of me and helped me, so it's my turn to do so, I wish you could live with me. Mitsuki. Here. I don't want to be a bother. Izuku. You wouldn't be a bother, on the contrary, I would love for you to stay here. Sometimes I feel alone in such a big place. Mitsuki. Then I'll help you find a girlfriend. Izuku. That's not what I was talking about. Mitsuki. Let's find a girlfriend for you. Izuku. I don't have time out of pity. Mitsuki. Why? Izuku. I have things to do now, I was invited to an island where all the scientists are, and I would like you to be my companion. Mitsuki. So that way you can find a girlfriend on that island, good idea. Izuku. Wait, what? I didn't mean that. Mitsuki. I'll get everything ready. The woman left the place before Izuku's eyes, who could only remain silent while the woman only prepared things. Freddy. I'll delete it whenever you want. Izuku. I thought I'd tell you very well that I don't want you to do that. What do you mean you feel alone? And what about us? Izuku. They are just my slaves, it is not the same as being with a person like Mitsuki, I learn a little. The hours passed and they were going to the island landing so they could see the place. Mitsuki. This is all great. Izuku was just thinking about all the destruction he could do, but he was taken out of his thoughts when Mitsuki took him away from the place so that he would be in a part where all the people were. Mitsuki. This is a good place to start looking for a girlfriend. Izuku. But I don't need it. Mitsuki. But what are you talking about? I can stay at your house, but I can't be by your side all the time. Izuku's mind. But well, let's make that happen. The two of them were walking for a while until they came to a part where they saw how the girls were in a kind of competition since they were destroying the robots. Mitsuki. I think it would be nice to find you a girlfriend around here. Izuku's mind. What do I have to do to make it clear that I don't need a girlfriend? At one point someone covered Izuku's eyes, and before he finished killing the person who was bothering him, he heard his voice. Momo. Who am I? Izuku took his hands out to see her. Izuku. Hey Momo, girls. Melissa. What are you doing here? Izuku. I'm just here because I was invited and maybe to enjoy the party a little. Izumi. Something like you shouldn't be in this place, and I remind you that you still have to give us the money, my mom. Izuku. I'm not going to give anything to you who caused my pain. Izumi. Damn piece of. He fell silent as he watched Mei stand in front with Melissa and Momo. Mei. Leave him alone, he didn't do anything to you. Momo. In fact, on the contrary, you made him suffer, now leave him alone. Izumi. How can they be against me? Tomi. Maybe because they speak the truth, you just want to cause Izuku pain for being a man. Izuku. Hey Tomi, sorry I didn't notice you. The colored girl had a small blush as she let out her shy side of her being seen by Mitsuki, who for some strange reason, felt jealous of the girls who protected Izuku, and she did nothing. Kasumi. How dare you put yourself in my presence Deku. Mitsuki hit her, silencing her so she could see her mother on the spot. Mitsuki. Shut up, he has the right to be here. Kasumi. And what are you doing here? Mitsuki. I came with him, I hope it won't be a problem. Kasumi. You're the complete opposite. Izuku. Please, I don't like to see women fight, it takes away part of their beauty. Melissa, I'll see you tonight for the dance. Izuku walked away with Mitsuki from the place. Although they didn't notice that someone started following them, they walked to a part where there was no one, but they saw two villains there. Izuku. Interesting villains. Villain. What are you doing over here? Villain 2. It doesn't matter, let's just kill his companion and keep him. The villainesses launched themselves at Izuku, but Mitsuki pushed him, causing him to fall to one side, but she received the attack, causing her to fall to the ground, while Melissa, Momo, Mei and Tomi appeared at the scene. Villain 2. Now more trouble. Momo. Run Izuku, we'll take care of it. They saw how he stood up, looking down, but it seemed like he didn't notice them even though he spoke to them. Izuku. You hurt a person who helped me in the past, now I will take care of you. The boy showed a face that scared them all, so that with his cane pointing towards the villains, they began to form satanic drawings on the walls, while a kind of portals opened, so that some tentacles would take them away from the place, so that everything would return to them. Normal, but Izuku went to where Mitsuki was, who saw this. Izuku. Are you okay? Mitsuki. Yes. Momo. Just. Melissa. Shoei. Mei. Quirk. Izuku just noticed the other girls, so he looked at them. Chapter 10. After they arrived on the island, apart from the fact that Izuku ended up being attacked by some villains, so that Mitsuki would receive the damage, but because of this Izuku showed his demonic powers to the girls who saw everything. At this moment everyone was in the alley, still surprised by what they saw. Momo. Do you have a quirk? Izuku. I'm afraid I don't have it. Mitsuki. So how did you do it? Izuku. You see, I died a long time ago, what would be the me of today is a demon, now I am a demon and a very powerful one. Tomi. Then you are a demon. Izuku. Yes, that's it, I imagine that now they will stay away from me and tell everyone. Out of nowhere he felt the girls hug him so he could see them. Mei. We don't care about that, at least you show us that there is still something good in you. Izuku. But tell me, if I wanted to destroy the whole world, all humanity and heroines. Momo. As long as it's only women who are called heroes but aren't, then we don't care. Izuku. Now I don't know what to feel. Melissa. I think so. The red-haired boy looked at her for a few moments to be kissed by Melissa, surprising him, and even more so when the other girls did the same. Izuku. What was that? Melissa. We just love you Izuku, nothing more than that. Momo. And we would like to be your wives. Izuku. But you just saw it, I'm a demon. Mitsuki. It doesn't matter, we are only yours now. At that the boy smiled and hugged those who were now his women with great happiness. Momo. I hope you get ready. Izuku. What for? Mei. Because sooner or later we will have to grape you. But that, a chill ran through Izuku, not knowing that he was being seen by his minions who were only looking at this. Freddy. We have to do something about those women. Jason. If we do this we'll end up dead by the boss. And what does it matter? He's regaining his humanity and we have to do everything possible to prevent that from happening. Jason. Do what you want, but I will not be part of anything that goes against the boss. He said this as he left the place accompanied by other monsters before the eyes of his companions, who only began to think about how to deal with those women. Chapter 11. After Izuku had told the girls that he was a demon, who still ended up accepting that side of Izuku to be with him, they were now walking calmly at night, gathering in a part for the party, with the girls saying good things to each others about their dresses, until they saw Izuku walking through the door, wearing a dark red suit that made the girls blush. Momo. So now you have a tuxedo. Melissa. And it's still red anyway. Izuku. Let's say this is my color that symbolizes me. Izumi. It still makes no sense why you came since this place is for heroines. Izuku. And people who have great intellect like Melissa, her father, even me who made several inventions, so you better shut up. The green-haired girl wanted to jump on Izuku, but she held them back. Kasumi. Can I know, what the hell are you doing with my mother? Izuku. What she and I do is none of your business. 11. The boy began to walk calmly, but at one point they heard how the villains began to take over the building. Izuku. This is bad. Izami. Looks like we'll have to fight. Lottie. Yes, but Mr. Izuku can't fight. Izuku. Even though it may not seem like it, I have a few things up my sleeve. He had a smile that sent shivers down the spine of the girls, except for those who already knew Izuku. Uraraka. Still, it's very dangerous for you to do something like this. Izuku. We'll see. They saw how he took out some kind of control that he touched, pointing at a wall, making a portal through which he passed so that it would close. Izumi. And that. Kiri. I didn't expect it, but we have to start. They all started doing what they did in the original story, while Izuku stood in front of many robots surrounding him. Izuku. This is definitely going to be fun. He said it with a smile as he extended his staff to make portals through which tentacles emerged, which began to take over the robots which could do nothing, but began to be destroyed with enormous ease before Izuku. The minutes passed, and the girls found themselves entering a room where they saw all the robots destroyed and Izuku sitting drinking some tea. Izuku. It's about time you arrived. Izumi. What the hell did you do? Bloody. It is difficult for us to destroy them. Izuku. Let's say they're my little tricks up my sleeve, but hey, what can you do? Tomi. Let's just keep going, we have to get everything back to normal. They started running although Izuku only passed through the portals destroying the robots, as if it were nothing before the eyes of the girls who always arrived when everything was destroyed. Everything happened like the original story, until they defeated the villain who had the power to move metal. Tomi. You didn't want to do anything about it. Izuku. My collaboration was not really necessary in this part. Momo. You knew we could do this. Izuku. Yeah, we didn't have much of a choice anyway, imagine how they would have reacted upon seeing my demonic powers. He said this while maintaining his smile that showed his fangs. Melissa. Someday we will have to go to your house to find out more about you. May. Or your experiments. Izuku. We'll know about that, but with time we'll be able to know more. He said this as he walked away. Chapter 12. After Izuku had gone through some things on the island, he was now calm at home with Mitsuki, who was only having a good time with Izuku, until they rang the doorbell of his house, so he approached the door only to open it, seeing that it was the girls. Izuku. Hey girls, is something wrong? Momo. No, we just came to see you, to visit. Izuku. Then please come in. The girls walked past to start walking. Melissa. You've heard that some women were found dead by some weird guy. Tomi. The subject is said to have had a JK mask apart from a black shirt and a brown coat. Izuku. Well, I hope it helps you that those women were evil, pure corrupt politicians. Mitsuki. You speak as if you know him. Izuku. And indeed he is a minion that I have, his name is Jason. Momo. Really? Izuku. Yeah, he's a nice guy even though he doesn't talk much. Melissa. So you let him kill those people. Izuku. Some days I let him kill like my other minions, but they have certain limitations obviously. Melissa. If they have limitations then you have more minions, right? Izuku. If everyone listens to me and doesn't dare to challenge me. Tomi. And what happens in the hypothetical case that they want to challenge you? Izuku. Well, defying my orders is a pass to hell where I also command. In the USJ that policeman who almost killed one of you was one of my henchmen. Tomi. In a way you protect us. Izuku. In a way, but I also want to get revenge on Izumi. Momo. Because she was the one who hurt you the most. Izuku. The point of this is that I'm the one who has to take revenge, and none of my minions are allowed to do that. May. Wow, I didn't expect it, but where are those minions? Izuku. At the moment I don't know and I don't care to know where they went as long as they don't try to defy one of my orders or try something against me everything will be fine for them. May. You sounded pretty calm about all this. Izuku. That's because I am evil itself, I can do practically whatever I please regardless of what happens to others. Melissa. I hope I'm not interrupting you, but can I go to the bathroom? Izuku. Yes, it's over there. The blonde was grateful to go to the bathroom calmly, but when she came out it was when things got tense, since the hallway was quite dark, despite it being daytime so much that touch of chills. Melissa. Well it's just a dark hallway. The girl began to walk calmly through the place, but she began to feel how with each step, everything became even more tense than before for the blonde who was increasingly more afraid without realizing that someone was walking behind her. Melissa. Wow, this place is really scary. The girl was walking, but noticed how through the reflection of a mirror that was on the wall, she noticed an axe that was about to cut her head, causing her to open her eyes, while she threw herself to the ground, avoiding the cut, although she had a slight cut on her arm, so she could see a guy with a clown mask that had a smile. Melissa. Who are you? Are you one of Izuku's minions? She said it with clear fear in her voice at the people who were trying to kill her, so she did everything she could to get away, even though she was on the floor until her back hit the wall. Melissa. I don't understand what you want. Horny. I want my lord to remain evil himself, now die damn it. I raised the axe to end the life of the girl who screamed only for me to lower the axe, but from the darkness, a strong wind began to pass with a strange noise, apart from making the place more tense than it was, so that a hand took the axe that was close to hitting Melissa who had her eyes closed, but when she felt nothing, she opened them seeing Izuku who had the axe although he was a little changed. Since he had the antlers of a deer, black hands but red nails, purely red eyes giving a more demonic touch. Horny. My lord. Izuku. So you're trying to break one of my rules, right horny? Horny. But my lord, I can explain it if you please let me just listen to me. Izuku. You know very well what happens when they try to break my rules. He said this while raising the axe to break it with pure force and pressure. Horny. Sir, boss, guys, those women are changing you, you are not like that, we had peace and quiet until those damn women met you. Izuku. Enough, horny, and even though it is like that you dared to defy my orders, something you know well that I have no mercy, or well, I never had mercy on anyone. At one point he saw her reach out her hand towards him. Horny. Please sir, anything but that, don't do it, I can reward you in more ways than one. He could not continue because tentacles began to emerge from a portal, grabbing him by different parts to force him to enter only for it to close. Izuku. And let this be clear to others or I will have to give more examples. He said he went to a dark place to see Melissa only to bandage the cut. Izuku. Are you okay? Melissa. Yes, thank you. Izuku. We better go. He left with the girl while in a dark part. Freddy. Those bitches are changing him, we have to do something. Jason, Samara, join us. Jason. No. Samara. In other words, we swear loyalty to the master of evil himself and we cannot simply defy his orders, no matter what kind of order it is, so we cannot do anything about it. They began to leave the place. Sam. And since when do they talk? It's even pretty new to me. Everyone was surprised by how those two, who had never spoken before, now did. Chapter 13. After Izuku saved Melissa from one of his minions, the girls just went to their houses to rest, although Mitsuki stayed with Izuku as always. The next day, the girls were thinking about how to start their things since they were going to do their internships, while Izuku was calm, drinking a cup of tea until he saw Mitsuki arrive. Izuku. I hope you woke up well today. Mitsuki. Yes, pretty good, to be honest, I don't know why it was better than other days. Izuku. Well, yesterday I was talking to my minions. Mitsuki. What's so special about that? Izuku. Well, what's special about it is that they were trying to kill them, but I made them understand that they don't have to do that. Mitsuki. So thanks for that, but why did they want to kill us? Izuku. Well, the problem is that they thought you were making me seem weaker. Mitsuki. I don't understand. Izuku. In other words, they thought I was coming out of my evilness and starting to be more vulnerable with you. Mitsuki. And that's bad. Izuku. I'm his boss, a lord of pure darkness, so yes, he's a little bad. Mitsuki. And you don't think they'll think that about you and you do it by destroying them. Izuku. Unfortunately I have no choice for them, but anyway part of their group is more than loyal to me, that's why they always help me. Saying that, Mitsuki began to feel a little better. Izuku. I have to go to work now and remember if any of them try to bother you talk to me. Mitsuki. What if they try to do something worse than that? Izuku. If you talk about killing yourself it would be stupid because in that case I myself would take care of them so they receive the worst of their lives and believe me they are going to suffer. Mitsuki. Then I think I feel better about that. Izuku. If you leave me, pretty, I have to go to work and one more thing, Jason is going to protect you along with another one. Mitsuki. Who is Jason? Izuku. Just the one behind you. But that he turned around seeing the huge man with the jock mask and his machete. Mitsuki. So you are Jason, nice to meet you. The man just remained silent without saying a single word. Izuku. As you can see, he's not a man of many words, so if you'll excuse me, I have to get started on my work. The boy took a car to leave the place spending some time until he arrived at a kind of bar where he entered to see the League of Villains. Kuro. Looks like someone came to visit. Tomu. What do you want? Izuku. I just want to see your teacher, nothing more than that, can you take me or do I have to go myself? Kuro. I'll take you now. The woman stood in front of him to begin making the portal through which she passed without problems, seeing the feared villain All For One, who had a serious look until she noticed the red-haired man with a smile on his face as always. All For One. What do you want now? Izuku. Nothing in particular, I just want to know a few things, nothing more than that. All For One. You can ask whatever you want, you're my superior anyway. Izuku. Well, I found out that they are planning another attack on the UA, but this time, what is it going to be about? All For One. Let's capture some UA girls to lure all girl to me, so I can end her life. Izuku. So you have a big thing planned, but you were going to do it without consulting me, right? All For One. Well, I was going to tell you, but I want to know, why did you ask that question? Izuku. I just came to warn you to be careful who attacks you because there are some people that I myself want to take care of, and I have to do it, understood? All For One. Yes sir, we will be careful with our attacks if that is what they want. Izuku. Thanks for understanding, now that I've said that I have to go. The red-haired man left the place leaving All For One and Kuro alone, who looked at her teacher. Kuro. Is something wrong? All for one. If you tell the doctor to end the Gigantomachia project, I can no longer stand taking orders from a man. He does not understand that he is beneath us, and when that happens, it will end more than badly, he will beg for his life. Saying that, they started to laugh without knowing that they were heard by Izuku using a demonic portal, who kept his smile on him but was beginning to get upset by such a thing they said. Izuku. Wow, I'm going to have to take care of them soon, but I'll think about it later. I'm more interested in this Gigantomachia project. He reached a point where he stopped his car to get out, looking at the UA with a smile. Izuku. And now I have to give more explanations about myself. He said this to start entering the academy. Chapter 14. Izuku began to enter the UA, where he was calm without making many movements, since the young man was only looking for one thing, until he could meet someone. Aiza. Hey, it seems like you really are around here from what I can see. Izuku. Hi Aiza, it seems you're still as beautiful as ever. Aiza. Anyway, I think you came for something important. Izuku. Yes, I came for Director Niza, otherwise it's a problem. Midnight. Then I can take you. She said this as she hugged the young man from behind, just so he would have a smile at such a thing, the same as always. Aiza. I think he can go on his own, he knows where he is. Midnight. But I don't understand how bad it can be. Izuku. Anyway, I think I have to say a few things to all of you. Mirko. Well, I wish it was important, and it better be, because I'm very busy. Izuku. Where did you come from? And how do you know that you are one of the ones I want to talk to? Mirko. Simple, I'm Mirko and I do what I want. Izuku. Well, I guess I need the hussy cats like Ryukyu is a topic that I want to tell you a secret that few girls know about me, to be honest. Mirko. You won't have to give us any answers to any of that right now then. Izuku. Well, if you want to play this way, if you go, then I'm going to give Aiza my new and improved bulletproof sleeping bag as a tax. She won't feel anything while sleeping. I can give Mirko one of my best training machines so he can kick. The hussy cats are sure to go. They know when something is important, and the same goes for Ryukyu. Midnight. But you didn't tell me, you just don't know what you can give me to go. At that, the young man just sighed as he approached to whisper some things in her ear, and when he finished he was beginning to blush along with a rather large smile. Izuku. What do you think? Midnight. I accept then. Izuku. Well, go in the meantime if you allow me, I have certain things to talk to the director. The young man began to walk until someone tried to run into him just so he would recognize who it was. Izumi. Damn bastard, try to watch where you're walking. Izuku. You better be more careful next time or you'll bump into the wrong person. Izumi. How dare you talk to me like that? You don't know who you're talking to, damn man. Izuku. Of course I know, you're just a girl who thinks she has power, but she just doesn't know when, but sooner or later she's going to be killed by someone she thinks is inferior to her, and more things that she doesn't. I don't know what can happen. He said this as he began to make part of the space around him distort, and at the same time that young man began to become scary in Izumi's eyes, who only remained still out of fear of him. Izuku. Well, I enjoyed our little chat, just let me go. The young man started to leave only to end up in the principal's office, who was staring at the young man intently. Niza. I guess it's a pleasure, having you in my academy means something to me. Izuku. Yes, as you know, my company provided certain security to its academy, but lately I noticed how there are certain things like villain attacks. Niza. Yes, those are true things, but their defenses for the academy work quite well. Izuku. Yes, about that I would just like to tell you that I want to offer you some training drone robots that were prepared for battle. Niza. And what good does that do to me? Izuku. Well, greater security, you don't have to worry in case you receive an attack or something like that, it's the best part, I just want you to accept. He said this while showing a contract that the director began to read. Niza. Well, in that case I accept. He said this as he signed and the young man began to leave, starting to walk through the halls of the UA. Izuku. And by the way, keep an eye on them like you never imagined before. These were his words from him as he walked away from the place. Chapter 15. The young demon was a little nervous because he had to confess some things to certain women right now, and he didn't know if they would take it well, since he saw them coming at the door of his house, and he just sat there without doing anything about it, other than watching them as they sat down. Boruko. Well, we heard that you really need us right now, I would like to know what is going on. Mandalay. Especially since we don't come across this kind of thing all the time. Aiza. There are also some UA students in this place. He said this while staring at his students. Melissa. Well, it looks like we'll have to tell you a little secret that's a lot more important than you think. Momo. And please don't take it the wrong way, otherwise bad things might come out at the end of all this. Aiza. What do you mean a secret? This kind of thing makes less and less sense. Izuku. Okay, the truth is that I am a demon. That way I achieved all this. I am evil itself in all its splendor, someone capable of destroying the entire city if he sets his mind to it, because not even someone represents a threat. Pixie Bob. What kind of secret is that? It doesn't make sense. By saying that the young man made his minions appear coming out of the shadows, although Melissa for certain things with ease only approached Izuku, as well as being protected from Jason, so that the rest did not do anything to her. After that he made his staff appear out of nowhere to hit the ground, causing the environment to change to a darker one, where they saw the same hell followed by it returning to normal. Izuku. I guess you can believe me now because I really want to show you the truth, especially since my loved ones helped me tell you the truth. Boruko. What do you mean, your loved ones? And that he saw how the rest of the girls only gathered more with the red-haired young man, making things clear so that they could only understand what was happening. Izuku. Now that you know the truth I need to know an answer. If you are not interested in any of this and really want to get away, then I ask you to leave the country because bad things are going to happen, but if not, you can stay and I will protect you as I protect them. Then they heard something, causing them to look at one part. It's not for anything my lord, but I don't see anything good in letting more humans in this place. Freddy. It's true, they are human, they can betray us, it's within their being, we can allow this type of things, but no more than that. With their words they managed to make the young man gradually take on a more demonic form, making it clear how angry he was about this very thing. Izuku. Understand you damn miserable people, you have no right to demand anything from me, because the one who commands above you is me, therefore if someone asks you or tells you not to do anything, it's me, so stay still and quiet you miserable people, otherwise you'll end up like those damn renegade demons who dared to disobey my orders. But that they just kept silent, knowing that they couldn't do anything against their teacher who seemed quite angry despite everything. Jason. I told you so, idiots. Momo. Since when are you talking? Izuku. Now that we have things cleared up, I would like to have an answer. Boruko. But I don't understand why us. Aiza. It's true, it doesn't make sense. Mitsuki. Come on, don't act like you two want a piece of him like the rest of us, you can't just fool us for such a thing. Saying that, the girls were left thinking why he really had the whole truth, causing them to sigh. Mandalay. It's okay, we'll accept you, we have no problem doing that kind of thing really. Boruko. But we want to have some time, you know, to be able to analyze all this because it really is too much. Aiza. That's true and I want a new sleeping bag. Izuku. I think it's fine, but the last one ended up costing me a lot with the sleeping bags, it's not as easy as it seems. Aiza. I'm not interested, I want one as soon as possible. Izuku. Okay, give me some time just a little. At that the woman was happy as Izuku was inside, although some of his minions did not look kindly on this. Chapter 16. A little time passed since the girls were in the house of the young evil entity, where they were beginning to be able to live while Izuku himself was just walking directly towards a part where upon arriving he saw that it was the League of Villains. All for one. It's a pleasure to have you back in my area sir. Izuku. Don't go around with that kind of stuff, we all know very well that you're keeping something up your sleeve and you don't want to tell me. All for one. It's not much, just that I plan to unleash an attack against the entire city at the end of this year, using Gigantomachia as the base of that attack. Izuku. And who is this Gigantomachia? Out of nowhere he began to feel strong tremors and then saw, to one side, without any importance, the enormous being that was staring at the young man, as if he were a piece of meat. All for one. That's Gigantomachia, I hope you like my perfect Nomu. He said this while passing him a tablet where the young man saw how the enormous being was with his current power, so that he could sigh for that very reason. Izuku. It's almost as pathetic as your presence all for one, I almost feel sorry for you. All for one. Well, I'm afraid I can't surprise him all the time. At one point he saw Gigantomachia looking quite angry as he pounded the floor like an animal. Gigantomachia. Don't say that to my teacher, I swear I'll kill you if you try to say it again. Izuku. Please, both of you are equally pathetic with your threats. At that, the creature launched itself against the young man who only seemed indifferent to such a thing. All for one. Don't do it, idiot, you're not capable of being at his level. Out of pity the words came late, the supposed perfect Nomu hit the young man who created a light cloud of dust, which when he left only left Izuku with his staff facing forward with the same look as before, as if it were nothing before Gigantomachia's fist which trembled as he used all his strength. Izuku. Not bad, you filthy vermin, but now I will show you what happens when they try to do something to me like an attack. At one point he started to hit Gigantomachia's fist, causing a large number of cuts to appear around his body, as if it were blood, causing him to open his eyes wide as he fell to the floor, unable to do anything about it. All for one. Damn idiot, he shouldn't have attacked him like that. Izuku. Hey, all for one, your no must at least increase their quality a little. I hope they work because soon I will show my true power to the world. All for one. How are you going to show your true power to the world? It doesn't make sense to do it so soon, not to mention the chaos that would end up causing by doing something like that. Izuku. Are you ordering me not to do something I want to do? He said this as he turned to look directly at the woman, revealing her fangs with a smile, and the space between them was beginning to distort. All for one. Nothing like that, I'm just saying that I really think it's too soon to show his power. I don't know if it's a good idea for him to make an appearance at this time. Izuku. Don't be too sure, when I do this everyone will understand that this world was never supposed to belong to them, now it belongs to me as a reward for all the power I have. All for one. It's okay sir, I just hope our deal holds firm until the end at least. Izuku. And it will continue that way, I can't wait any longer to start this, and you can rest assured that your villains won't be touched by my demons in exchange for me really wanting to do it. In the meantime I am leaving, and remember you still owe me a lot of things for everything I did for you. He said this as he began to walk slowly without much importance under the gaze of the villain, who had no idea what he was waiting for her later on for this type of things. Chapter 17. At Izuku's house, the young man was thoughtful as if he were trying to solve a problem that was happening in that same place, all while little by little, he began to feel a light hug so that he could see how the matter was about Mitsuki. Mitsuki. You don't seem very focused lately. Izuku. It's nothing special, they're just small details. Mitsuki. If it were that way you wouldn't find yourself waiting so long to be able to move or make some movements. At most you invited some men to join your legions of demons in exchange for their loyalty by giving them power, but you don't find yourself very focused on us. There is something that is consuming you inside. Izuku. It's about this matter of the attack, soon everything will be more than ready, and when this matter is over all the heroines will be underground, unable to do anything, while those who are true heroines who are capable of saving men will be able to live in peace. Mitsuki. I don't understand what's wrong with those parts. Izuku. The bad thing about those parts is that I don't know what I'm going to do after all this. Aiza. I think you should be able to explain yourself a little better in those kinds of details, because it doesn't sound like a good thing given your mood. Shota. Not to mention you really look a little depressed. Izuku. It's not much, it's just that at the end of everything I've been working for years, everything I've always wanted I'm finally going to have, and in exchange for all that I'm going to be empty inside. I don't know how long I'll be able to go on with my life, to be honest. Momo. In fact, there are still many things, like being able to live with us and all that. Jason. I'm afraid my boss means that throughout this life he had throughout his being, he was only capable of thinking about revenge, being able to kill as to keep things more stable, to put it in a few words, but by not having more purposes once everything is accomplished, even if you meet him literally. He will have that feeling that everything he sought in revenge and that gave him satisfaction is over. But the words spoken by the masked assassin, they just remained silent without having any idea of what just happened. Not even Izuku had any idea of what just happened. Melissa. Did he just speak? Mandalay. And he said all that in a very reasonable way apparently. I never imagined that coming from him. Izuku. Not even I, being his king, could take into account that he was such a reasonable killer in every way. Jason. Staying still for so long gives you just enough things to be able to think and speak with the right words. Izuku. I think it makes sense if we go that way. Mandalay. But the important thing is that you are feeling exactly that, what we don't want you to feel, you end up feeling in a way that we don't like. Mitsuki. But if you're really going to have that part of your being so bad, then we'll help you fix it. Toga. Even if we have to use certain unreasonable and unclean methods in order to be used on your body. Izuku. I don't know what to think about Toga, but something tells me it's going to be pretty hexual. Toga. It was clearly going to end that way. Izuku. And we are clearly not going to take that path, so let's make that clear from the start. Momo. The important thing is that soon all this will end, and we will be able to start having a much better life without the need to run more risks. Shota. And once everything that could ever happen comes true, we will live much better than ever before. You just have to wait, and you will be able to see that everything will get better. But those words, she could only give him a kiss like the rest, partly relaxing the young demon, while they only kept in mind that everything that was about to come was going to be the end of so much time of revenge. Chapter 18. In a part of Japan, Izumi was sleeping quite peacefully as if it were nothing to her, and she only wanted to have the possibility of finishing off the villains as a heroine, since her dreams were in all the darkness. Izumi. Where am I? I don't understand anything. The girl was trying to figure out what was happening until she heard a voice. Child. Are you really going to leave me? I don't understand, I just wanted to have a little love and you do this to me. Izumi. Who said that? Child. Just a little love, nothing more than a little love I want, nothing more than that, and now you gave me your hatred. Moving a little, she noticed that the child was crying out of the darkness, causing the green-haired girl to worry and start going after him and kneeling before him. Izumi. Hey Brad, how are you? Where are your parents? Child. My parents are dead, but I have a sister. Izumi. And that sister of yours, where is she? Child. You are my sister. At that he noticed how he had those green hairs, making him surprised by that. Izumi. This is impossible, it can't be possible. Child. Why? Perhaps. And that he was enveloped in fire so that he would change shape to his current form, although he had a more demonic appearance than normal, causing Izumi to begin to back away from such a thing. Izuku. Don't you recognize your brother? Come on sister, I'm your little brother whom you should have protected a long time ago, you had to protect me, and now I'm what you're seeing. Izumi. No, this can't be it. Izuku. It's my little sister, but that doesn't matter, it's time to start with the most fun part of all. Izumi. What do you mean, the most fun part of all? What are you talking about? Izuku. I'm clearly talking about eating, I'm hungry and you're the closest piece of meat I have to me. But that she began to walk towards Izumi, who began to run at such a thing, but she looked at those giant hands with claws which approached little by little until she managed to take her away, causing the green-haired girl to wake up quite scared. Izumi. What the hell was that? Why am I having these nightmares? I don't understand any of this. The girl began to hold her legs at such a thing only to remain in a fetal position on her bed without knowing that she was being seen from a distance by Izuku, who had a smile and looked at everything through a sphere. Izuku. How satisfying it is to see this kind of thing. At that moment he saw Jason enter the place, who only walked until he was in front of it. Izuku. What's wrong? Jason. I came because it looks like we have all the preparations. Izuku. Really? Then we have all the necessary things to be able to begin with our plans. Jason. Yes, we have all the necessary things at the moment, we just need to start planning once and for all. Izuku. And do you have any idea when we will attack? Jason. All for one's plan is to be able to have all girl in front of her in front of the entire city, once the fight starts we can intervene and begin with our presences. Izuku. Well, not bad for now, all that remains is to be able to do the last thing, and that is to prepare our demons. Jason. Do I have to tell the rest? Izuku. We will do them 2 days before, once we have the possibility to start then we will have everything in our hands. Jason. What about the girls? The rest of us don't seem to feel the need to have them around yet. Izuku. Well, whether the rest like it or not, we let them stay. I don't care at all. They'll stay in this house whether they like it or not, and if they try to do something to them like that idiot clown tried before, then they'll be worse off than that damn doll. Saying that, Jason managed to nod his head as he began to walk away so he could leave the young man alone with his plans for later, taking into account every detail that could happen. Chapter 19. Somewhere in Japan, Izuku was in a forest, walking calmly with a smile as he stared at the entire landscape, where he could simply see some explosions, a blue fire, among other things all over the place. Izuku. What a magnificent scene, I can't believe I'm experiencing this kind of suffering in such a way. Muscular. You seem very surprised by this. I don't have a female name. Izuku. Come on Muscular, I'm not surprised, this kind of attack can be done by any kind of criminal gang with enough villains, there's no need to take anything else into account for all of us really. Muscular. Yes, I understand it very well even though I don't understand some things, including why that Brad is in this place next to that other one. He said this while pointing at Momo who was standing next to Mitsuki who were just watching. Izuku. They wanted to come to know exactly what it was like to see how those who do injustice in the world are in danger. Muscular. But the brat must be with his own people. Momo. That's not necessary, we could have made a kind of clone that could pass itself off as me for a while. Muscular. Well then I'm going to have fun with that brat. She said this as she lunged at Kota, something that managed to open Izuku's eyes wide, but he relaxed when he saw how Izumi managed to save her, starting their battle between the two before Izuku's gaze, who remained expectant until his shoulder was touched by Momo, making him look at her. Izuku. What's wrong? Momo. I don't think we should stay and watch, that child may suffer just like you. Izuku. Now that you mention it, it's true, I guess intervening won't do anything bad. At one point, when Muscular was thinking about continuing to attack, he had to stop when he saw how Izuku managed to get in his way from him. Muscular. What the hell do you think you're doing? Izumi. That bastard is in this place. The young man had a smile, but began to walk slowly towards Kota, who tried to keep his distance from him as he knelt in front of him. Izuku. That idiot Izumi left you unprotected and because of that you are now in danger. Tell me one thing kid before this attack, were you happy with your life? Kota. No, why do you ask? Izuku. It's simple, I plan to be able to protect you, feed you and as many things as you want. Kota. Are you serious? Izuku. Yes, I even have people who will want to protect you, you just have to take my hand. Kota watched as he began to reach out his hand, causing him to take it little by little, so that Izuku would lift him into his arms. Muscular. Hey, I wanted to kill that brat. Izuku. Yes, I know very well, but you better go kill somewhere else, the green-haired girl has a personal matter with me. Muscular. You think I'm just going to let you get away with this like it's nothing? Izuku. Of course, otherwise we'll go to another point in the story where this green-haired girl was able to defeat you. Muscular. Don't make me laugh. She launched herself against Izuku, making him look annoyed, but all it took was for him to take out her staff to stop her blow, and in one movement he was able to slam her against the mountain, causing a tremor, and finally leaving Muscle completely unconscious. Izuku. You had to listen to me. Izumi. How did you do that? It was supposed to be impossible. Izuku. That's right, I forgot you were in this place. With one movement he managed to make Kota rise to where Mitsuki was and took him. Izuku. I've had these powers for a long time, the power of a true demon, of evil itself personified, even if it doesn't seem like it. Izumi. But that's supposed to be impossible. Izuku. Well, years ago, when I left home with wounds all over my body, unable to walk almost, unable to do many things, I was left very badly injured. I entered a cave that took my blood, and in exchange for my blood, I had enough power to confront the society that moves unfairly, but those times of moving unfairly through my world will end in a few hours. Izumi. What do you mean, in a few hours? What do you mean by that? Izuku. You'll find out soon enough when the time comes. Izumi. But you were the one who caused the attacks on the UA. Izuku. No, I just gave the things to the villainesses so that they would be able to fight against you, but it doesn't matter right now because in the end when I release all my power you guys are going to die. The young man began to walk calmly with his back to Izumi who was about to attack him, but was stopped by the same young man. Izuku. That's right, I almost forgot, you couldn't defeat Muscular without getting a little damaged first. But that he sealed Izumi in a red sphere causing it to explode, leaving the green-haired girl badly injured, while he left with Mitsuki, Momo and Kota through a portal. Izumi only went to the abyss of the place to see how they left without a trace. Chapter 20. In one part, Izuku was walking calmly as if it were nothing just because he was in front of hundreds of villains who stared at the young man, until they were in front of All For One herself, who had a serious look in front of the young man. All For One. I would like you to explain to me why one of my villains is imprinted now. Izuku. That's what happens when someone fails to pay attention. All For One. Whatever it is, that's why there are limits and there must be with certain parts, I think you understand me. Izuku. Of course I understand, but lately there are limits with certain things like killing innocent children on this plate. All For One. Wow, this is new. Izuku. What do you mean? All For One. When I met you, you were quite the assassin, you killed without fear, and were even capable of taking the blood of those who dared to go against you completely. Izuku. I want you to get to the point only. All For One. My point is that it seems like you've completely softened up, although I still don't know why. She had a smile until from one moment to the next, she was taken by her neck to be lifted, while she ended up against the wall by Izuku, who had a smile showing his fangs of her at the same time that part of the space began to extort. Izuku. Listen carefully to one thing, idiot, you can't come and tell me everything you can do or say to me, you must learn one thing with me no matter what happens, and that is that you must remember perfectly who gave you all the things you have now, technology, power, way to gather more villains as soon as possible, that was triple thanks to me, and you will always have to keep that in mind. He kept that smile before letting her go to lay on the floor, causing her to cough a little before glancing at the young man who was only just beginning to walk around the place while taking some papers to look at them. Izuku. Now remember your place well, remember that you got all this thanks to me. All For One. Whatever you say, now just let me get a few things ready before we can start taking over the entire city. Izuku. Perfect, now that we know everything I just want you to stay still and follow the course of the plan. He began to walk so he could leave under the angry gaze of All For One, while that boy while walking only managed to meet Jason who was waiting. Izuku. What happens now? Jason. Slight issues, it seems that somehow those girls found out about some of your books like other things. Izuku. And you came to tell me in person, but more important is the matter of who is taking care of them. Jason. I took care of leaving someone to watch them and protect them until we arrived. Izuku. I can see it now, at least you're one of the few who thought, even a little. Jason. We just need to get back before some clown like that is thinking about doing something dangerous. Izuku. For his sake, let's hope he didn't try anything. Last time I tortured him a little, but he wouldn't stop screaming like an ordinary mortal. Jason. Let's just go back. But that the young man began to form a portal in front of him to pass through, so that they would end up in the mansion where he began to look around and take a deep sigh. Izuku. I can see that there isn't even a trace of blood coming from them, that means there won't be any problem in that case. At that moment, Freddy managed to appear in front of him so he could bow to him. Izuku. And where are they? Freddy. In their special room. I tried to stop them, but I couldn't do anything. It turned out that they escaped as if nothing happened. Jason. The truth is, you were bribed with a sheet full of people that you can use to kill them in their dreams. Freddy. What did you say, you bucking idiot who can't swim? Jason. What did you hear, roast face? The two were about to fight, but Izuku just walked away as if nothing were happening, so he could look around the place and ended up entering a room where the girls were cleaning part of the place, although it was noticeable that it wasn't really like that. Izuku. They know perfectly well that I know them well enough that they can't pretend right now. Melissa. Well, we were just curious. Izuku. What did you want to see? Mitsuki. It's not something too big, we just found this sphere and started looking at it. At that moment he showed a small sphere which Izuku took to look at it intently. Izuku. This sphere is used to see certain specific people whenever you want, you just have to concentrate. Fayumi. I'm sorry if this bothered you, but we saw you save that child. At what he heard, he was only able to remember that scene, so he could walk a little before leaving the sphere in a place where he only looked at the floor, where the girls who already knew his story only stared at the young man to walk towards him and hug him. Mitsuki. We know perfectly well your history as everything you represent now, evil itself in person, flesh and blood, ready to be able to do everything you want completely. Fayumi. Even if you have the same evil inside you, you can still save as you love, we know that inside your body better than anyone. The girls tried to relieve the young man until something came to mind, so she had a slight smile and began to make signs to the other girls that they were going to have to start following her. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.